Hey guys, it's me, man, from No Budget Productions, and with me today is my good friend Krystal Willis. How are we doing, Krystal?
Hey, I'm doing well. How are you?
Oh, finer than frog hair. A little hiccups this morning we had, but now we're
Yeah,
on the right path, it seems. So
exactly.
there we go. So, well, um, you've kind of been, done a lot of things. You've done some Star Trek, you've done some commercials, you've done some modeling. You've done kind of all over the place.
hmm
And I figured my audience would love to kind of hear. I know quite a few when I put up movies that you've been in. Ties the Bind was one of them because Michael said I could put that on my channel. So I was like,
hmm
yay! Um, but you have been a highlight every time you're on screen. They're like, we love her. Even the Mirror Universe
Yes.
episode that you were in, uh, which I forgot to grab screen grabs for that. I grabbed from Grissom, I grabbed from Ties of Bind, and because I wanted to show
Uh-huh.
your talents for that. But every time you're on screen, people are like, she's so good. Um,
Oh, thank you.
what You have a huge following, I have to say. What have you been doing since the Star Trek days, if you don't mind me
Well,
asking?
it's just work. I mean, like, real life work, because, you got to do what you got to do.
Right.
So it's just real life work. And then finally, and then like, COVID happened and then I just laid low and, trying to see what's going to happen with that. And then it kind of seemed like, okay, maybe I can do this. So I went down and got an agent, like, created my demo reel again and then got an agent. And so I have that now. I have a modeling and acting agent. So I've been trying to get, reestablished doing this. And so I was able to do one as a featured extra in a movie maybe a couple of weeks ago. Is that Neelix?
It is Neelix. Yes, he comes. He always loves to see what's going on. It's either him or Royce that runs through. So yeah, hello Neelix.
Hi, Neelix.
And then Rufus.
Okay.
I think Rufus just
I
came
think
in.
I saw a white tail.
Yeah, yeah. That was that. Yeah, okay, guys. All right, go play with Royce. He's
I love
all right.
dogs, so I had to kind of be like, what?
Bless their hearts. All right,
I
go on,
know.
guys. All right.
Okay, so I've done that featured extra in a movie, and I've done some auditions, like self-tape auditions had to do here at my house, which are great. I mean, that's fun because sometimes my nerves can get the better of me, like when I'm in the audition room, and then you only have like that moment to do something, and they could redirect you afterwards, but it's that moment. So like when I am, hey Richard, when I was here I can do self tapes, then I will. There have been some that I've done for like 4 hours, like worth of takes, just because I'm like, oh man, I did something weird. Oh no, this,
Right.
or no, that, why, no. So it's like I fumbled through it for hours, and mind you, I may have gotten it on the first take. I'm just kind of a perfectionist, so I just wanted to, because I mean, I want the role, so I wanted to make sure it's like I have the best possible footage going to the casting director. So,
I would have to say I think as actors I think we are our own worst critic, so
uh-huh,
I think filming from home is probably the best thing to do because you can sit there and you don't have to worry about uh the do I have something in my nose, do I have
uh-huh.
something, it's horrifying. I've never done what you're talking about, the going up and actually auditioning. Like
hmm
everything I do is in something like this. How
hmm
what is it like to actually go up and audition?
Yeah. Oh my. It's okay. Like prior to COVID, like you sitting in this lobby waiting room area, so you're with other people, and it may not just be that role you're auditioning for. It may be other roles as well, but it may be who knows. So you're just seeing, and sometimes you can see, oh, that's my competition, and you're just like, no, just you. This is you. Focus on you. So you're just sitting there waiting for your name to be called back, and you're just in that line, and then you get pulled in, and you talk to the casting director and their assistants and kind of get set up. And once you do it, action, and you do a take, and then they'll have you maybe redirect, do it another way, and then it's like it's done. You walk out, say thank you, and you walk out. So it's just like probably in there 5 minutes. It depends on obviously how long that role is or how extensive it is, but it I mean, it for me it's just stressful because it's just like, here's that moment, like, do I have my lines down? Do I have just the character I want to present? I don't want to become stiff, because when my nerves gets to me, then it's kind of like I'll become that stiff bore, and just blah blah blah. And I'm like,
Right.
but no. So as long as I could just chill and relax. So that's why I love doing it at home, because then I can just set it
Ease
up
into it.
here. Yeah, and just work my way. Because usually, I mean, it's like that warm up mode for me. Um, Most of the time, the first take isn't going to be the best take for me. I mean, it'd probably be good, but I mean, if you let me get maybe take 6 or 7, like I'm just warmed up to it and I'm in the moment, then it's like, oh, I'm still a beginner. I want to say beginner intermediate. I have a lot to learn. And I think if obviously if I was advanced, I could probably nail it on the first take. But I'm still learning, and I can admit that. And so it'll take me 5 or 6 takes to kind of really get warmed up and be like, okay, and I can nail it. But sometimes it just takes me a few takes to get there. And that's probably me trying to get over my nerves and just kind of calm down, girl. You're good. You're good. You know the lines, you know the character, you know what you want to do. Just do it. But I have to get past my nerves.
Well, that's one thing that I like you said, here at home. I know for me, I'll wait till Mona and Royce, go to sleep, and then, my brain turns on. Then I'm like, I
Hmm.
can't sleep, so I'll grab a script or something that I have, just sitting around, and I'll be like, all right, I'm gonna work on lines, and I'll film. But being able to ease into it, I'll make a cup of tea or something, and I'll put it here on my desk, and just sip tea while I'm doing something, and just do a couple of lines, and ease
Hmm.
into, I couldn't imagine having to actually go to the audition, and sit there and look at people, because I think I'd be too busy trying to joke with people, and laugh with them, and they'd be like, all right,
Yeah.
fuck off, Batman, I'm trying
Yeah.
to.
Yeah, you got to do that. And sometimes it's even the producer, director, or writers could be in there. They could be in the same room with you, not just a casting director.
Right.
So that's just a little bit like, ooh. Like, okay, you're still good. So I wanted to focus just strictly, like I have to tell myself, I don't care these people are in the room.
Right.
You can't, because otherwise that's going to get you a little bit more nervous. So you just have to focus. It's just like, to me, it's me, and I'm kind of seeing through the camera, but it's like right there above the camera, or wherever I'm trying to focus at the reader or wherever. And it's usually like that particular one will be the casting director that you're reading with. Um, so I'll just kind of focus my attention, it's off camera, and engaging with that person. But yeah, I just got to focus, like whoever I'm reading with, I want to focus on. It's just me and that person in the room.
Well,
And
that's one
uh,
thing that people, they don't realize when you're acting. It's for some people, you do have to kind of guide them, like, do not look at the camera, please don't
mhm,
look at, because a lot of, some of them will be like, they'll look right at the camera. It's like, don't
I
don't do
know,
that,
you
just
like, you're
ignore it.
looking, it's like, I got to.
Yeah, exactly. Just ignore it. You have to, like, the most important thing when you're doing something, and of course I haven't been to auditions like you have, but the most important thing when you're doing something like that is just stay in character. Even if you fuck up, just
Hmm.
stay in character
Hmm.
like that.
Exactly.
Because a lot of times, at least on the stuff that I've seen, um, you know, when you're on set doing something, staying in character is very important. Because
Yeah.
even if you flub a line, they might be able to take a part of that and use
Yeah.
that for something, or they'll see something where it's like, it may not be good here, but we might be able to use that for this.
Hmm.
Because there's been plenty of times where I've looked at something and seen that, where I'm like, this is a good take. I mean, they fucked up the line, but it's a good take.
Yeah.
But staying in character is very important, and ignoring the camera. you know,
Yes.
um, that's so important. Because at the end of the day, it's all just playing pretend.
Hmm.
We're all just kids. We're all just second graders on that schoolyard, still playing.
Nice.
Uh,
Yes.
so what all have you done? I know for Star Trek, you've done Grissom. You did a mirror universe one with me, for
Hmm.
Project Defiant, and then you did Ties That Bind, and then you did a zombie film with me,
Hmm.
um, which I was very blessed, because like everybody at my work was like, "How did you get with this hottie?" And I'm like, Um,
Oh my
but it was you've done in the like I said, in the truck world, you've done quite a bit.
God.
You part of the educational going back to this, and I'll show the audience who's not aware. Let's go back to this. This was here's um going back to Starship Grissom.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the Grissom right there next to the Valiant. And
Mm-hmm.
here's a couple. That's Jon Snow right there. And
Right.
is that Michelle?
Michaeline.
Michael. Okay, I'm terrible with names, so anybody, if I butcher something,
I
forgive me.
know. I'm the
Uh,
same.
and in the back, who are the people in the back?
There's Sally Vanderveer in red, and Keely, I think it's Sanchez. She's the cadet in that. So she was a star in that one.
And that for those that don't know, that was the everyone the educational series was kind of seen through her eyes,
Mm-hmm.
um for kind of making it that educational thing for the Oklahoma school system. Am I correct?
Yes, that was correct.
Okay. Okay. And then here you guys are again, another shot of you in the captain's chair. And what was your character's name for the Grissom show?
Oh my God, why'd you ask me that? It's been so long.
I think it was
Oh,
Allison or Alan.
oh my
Oh shoot.
goodness, how did I freak? Because I'm thinking about the Valiant character, and I cannot for the life of me think of the character's name that was in. Oh my
Well,
God.
to be fair though, you wore yellow in both, so it's
Yeah.
it's
And I was
understandable,
twins. It was like she was supposed to be not well, twins maybe. That was what they're supposed to be. I know
Yes,
the
I think
other was
that's
Elisa Friedman,
yes.
Samantha
Yeah.
Majors. Samantha
There you go.
Majors.
There
There
you
it
go.
is. Because it was
There
like
you
a
go.
play. They did a bunch of like it was I was captain, so it was like Captain Majors. There was always like a play on the names like Jon
Yeah.
Snow's character like was Lieutenant Driver. So it's
Yes.
always kind of like this play, I think on the names a little bit. I can't believe I forgot
Yes.
her name. It's just been so long.
So that's a group shot right there. That's the end of the film. That's kind of a group shot. And I always loved this shot right here because it's an action pose. You guys are about to go fuck up the Klingons
Hmm.
forgive the if any of those kids are watching this this show, like forgive me, potty mouth right here.
Hmm.
But I mean I always loved that pose right here because you guys are ready for action, and the makeup on the Klingon I thought was great.
Oh yeah, yeah.
You guys actually had someone that worked at NASA in that show,
Hmm.
um, uh, as a guest spot, which
Hmm.
was kind of a cool thing.
Yeah, it
Um,
was.
but you guys were actually kind of a close knit family on that show, or at least I felt.
I thought so
Um,
too.
yeah, and you guys still kind of keep in contact today, don't you guys? Or
I think no, not really, but just kind of every day. I think we know we exist, so we can touch base with each other.
uh,
But not, I haven't been as much. That's probably
mm.
bad on me, but
Well,
yeah,
you
not
have
as much.
I mean, COVID and real everyday life, happens. So
Yeah,
but yeah, you guys, uh, the whole education system. That was what was it like working on that? Because that wasn't just a fan series. That was something that it was very different
hmm,
than Starship Valiant, Starship Ajax, or Dreadnought Dominion. I mean, those were fan series. This was something, an educational thing. What was
yeah.
it like being the head figure for something that was drastically different at the
I
time?
don't. That was at the time when we did that. That was my first one. So I really at the time didn't have anything to compare it to, except that I was just grateful to, to get a role in it. And it was just fun. And like you said, it felt like a family environment. We all seemed to get along really well and had lots of fun. Um, and how it compared to the other ones, I mean, it's to me, as an actor, it was pretty much the same. I just want to get the role, figure out what she's about, create it, do what, listen to what the people who created tell me that they want to see out of her and present that role. That's so they're not much different for me. They weren't much different. And yeah, on Grissom, we had like little things we had to do, like a little teaching segment per se. And mine was about leadership. So even though, you saw like the episode 1 on YouTube, we also had these little clips that we did that would be presented to kids, and each of us had our own little educational block to say, to teach about, and mine was leadership, so we
Right.
could teach about those. So that was the little thing that was different for Grissom as opposed to the other ones in that regard.
Well, that was the one thing that I thought was really kind of cool about the Grissom concept, was the fact that it was, it was something that strived to be, just a little bit different, instead of, hey, here's another original series, it was something that was like, hey, let's try to reach the kids and be a little different, the Star Trek version of Mr. Rogers per se,
Yes.
it was kind of cool,
Yeah.
and you were one of the few people that actually got to be on the bridge. Not a lot of people get to actually be on the bridge. What was it like to get to go film on the 23rd century sets?
It is absolutely amazing. I mean, I just loved every moment of it. And sitting in the captain's chair, just feeling it was just like, I mean, this is the closest I'm gonna get to be able to do something like this. So it was very nostalgic. It was just I was blessed. I felt amazing getting the opportunity to do that.
Were you a fan of the classic Star Trek, or Next Generation fan, or which?
I enjoyed it all, like really, except I couldn't get into Deep Space Nine. I don't know why, but I could never get it. I know I couldn't. I
Okay,
watched
guys,
it and I
thanks for
tried.
stopping by on the show. Next week we have someone who loves DS9.
I didn't say I didn't like it. I just couldn't get into it. Like it just didn't. I remember watching a few episodes and like I would enjoy it, but like all the other ones, I could kind of see myself going in, watching and keep watching and go back and watch the episode again and enjoy it. But yeah, I don't know why. Sorry, Vance.
Well, DS9, if you missed an episode, it's like, oh shit, what happened? And it's not like today where it's like you can binge watch everything. I mean, back then it's like, if you didn't have a VHS tape to record it, I'm dating myself. It's like you were fucked. You couldn't. You were done for. It's like, what happened? Especially when you get toward the latter seasons where like Odo loses his powers, and then like 20 episodes later he gets them back, and if you miss one of those episodes, you're like, wait, what happened? Oh man, so like, I mean, it's not like today where it's like, oh, I'll just TiVo it, or I'll binge watch something. The other episodes are a lot more accessible, where it's not quite as continuity driven. But it's good Star Trek. And not only are you one of the few people that have been on Star Trek set, you're one of the few people to sit in the chair. Having to sit in the captain's chair for a long amount of hours, that it's not the most comfortable of chairs. Most people idolize that captain's chair, but it's fake leather on a hard piece of wood. It's not comfortable.
Yeah, especially if it was really hot or really cold in the studio. I mean, that added another level. But I will give it props because I did have my own little storage bin I could put stuff in that I would need on set. So it just lift that little chair cushion up and I'd get what I needed. Yes. So I could do that. Like I'd have like some makeup or just something that you just need to have on set that I just was like, there it is right there. Or my script, for example, just kind of like, it's just there. So
see, I was always envious of Michael, because I'm like, man, you could keep like, potato chips or something in there. Like I didn't have that luxury, and I was the fat guy on set. So for me, I'm like, where can I keep my snacks? I was always trying to sneak food on the set, and they're like, fuck you, fat man, don't do that. Stop sneaking, like Scott was like, stop it, V man, don't do that. But no, I love the fact that there's like a hidden compartment to keep food or something, or makeup,
gloves. Yeah, and I had gloves when it was really cold. I would stick gloves in there.
It was,
yeah.
I love the fact, like the first time we shot, we had that giant heater that we're like, all right, let's put this on set so we can all huddle around it. And I'm like, wait, aren't the sets made of wood? This fire, like there's fire, wood. I'm pretty sure cavemen figured this out, and we're in an enclosed building. I'm sure they tell you don't do this.
But it was so cold, Vance. You remember it was so cold in there.
It was terrible. So hey, Ian says hello to the talented and beautiful Krystal. Isn't she? That is true on both accounts. Very true.
Thank you.
Very true. It
No, but
was.
you remember it was always so free, not always, because sometimes otherwise it was burning up in there. It was hardly a time where it felt just comfortable. It was like freezing cold or burning up.
It was. It's like either for me on set, like you know, everybody who knows me knows, I'm a jolly man. I'm fairly hefty. So for me on set, either I'm sweltering like a roasted pig, or I look like two Tic Tacs fell down my shirt. Like it's not, it's not very flattering. So I always felt bad for going on set, because I'm like, look, don't look at me, because I look like one of those odd Fruit of the Loom people,
Yeah.
like, just don't this is sad. But it was always fun to go on set.
Hmm.
And it wasn't uncommon. People were always like, why are you guys wearing blankets on set? I'm like, because it's cold
Yeah.
as shit.
Yeah. It
And
was
and
ridiculous how cold it was.
yeah, and a lot of the time, uh say no, Tic Tac man. That's right, Ian. That's right, buddy. Um, no, I mean, and a lot of the times you go to set, and there's a lot of sitting. You know,
Hmm.
um, because for us stations around the captain, um, there's not a lot for us to do,
Yeah.
because a lot of the action is on you guys.
Hmm.
And then there's a lot of "I, sir," while we press the button. Um,
Yeah.
and there's a lot of action orders for you guys, with maybe us in the background pressing the buttons, and
Yeah.
but a lot of the time it's just us sitting there, but we're needed in case, okay, let's get
Hmm.
this shot with Menard in the background, or Jon Snow's character, Driver, with we'll get this right here. But there's not really a lot for us to do all the time, but we're
Yeah.
needed. So we need to be there available. Um, and that was the one thing now I encourage my people: take your uniform off if we're not filming.
Hmm.
Because at the time, when I first got my Starfleet uniform, I'm sitting there, and I'm like, man, I'm proud of this, and I didn't want to take it off.
Yeah.
And I almost overheated, because it was 120 degrees inside that. It acted like an
Yeah.
oven, and it was so hot. And Scott was like,
Exactly.
get this guy some water. We got, So thankfully we went to the Sonic, where crackheads went to go use the bathroom all the time. Love that Sonic.
I never
I just,
get there. I always went across the street to the diner when we ran across the street and take a break for that. But we never had done it at the.
yeah.
I don't
Well,
think at the Sonic. I think I was
they
afraid
locked
of
us.
it.
Well, they locked. Yeah, and you had every right to be. Well, they eventually locked us out of the site. They're like, can't use here because the crackheads are taking over. I was like, what?
Oh
Is this turf
wow.
war? So we had to pee outside that RV that was back there. I was like, oh, this sucks. Very professional films we do here.
Oh god.
Very strange place.
This was fun. See, it's so much fun. That's how we bond.
Well, it's fun till you get busted for indecent exposure. Oh man, we're just making Star Trek. Like, could you imagine meeting the people at that diner where it's like, the person with blue antenna walks in. Hey guys, gotta
Yes.
it's good times.
Yes. It was
But
good times.
it was good times. But so your days there, you guys, because for my films, I'm very lazy on how I do stuff, because I never memorize anything. But you guys
Hmm.
actually went to set, you rehearsed, you went through lines, you memorized lines, you uh I actually went there. I was like, why are these X's on the floor? Like, are are we punishing people? Like, what is this, a mafia hit? What is going on here? And they're like, no, this is where we stage where we're gonna stand. I'm like, oh shit, people do that? Like, I had no, me, I just
Hmm.
kind of wing it. What was all that like? Like, what is rehearsal like? Because again, I know nothing of that now, and I've been doing films for 8 years.
Hmm.
And I'd say that in quotation. Um, what was that like, to draw people together? Did that bring you guys closer, or was that, because you guys did a lot, from rehearsals to, did you guys, was it a convention that you guys did, or a school
Yeah, that
function?
Sooner Con, we would do that, which was a lot of fun. I mean, that's so much fun to do those. Um, But you're talking about like all those rehearsals we did.
Yeah, was that
Yeah, that's fun. That was
you
just fun.
guys?
I think that allowed us to bond up, even stronger, kind of learn each other, more about each other, especially when you're just coming out of the blue. These are the first, I think that was the first time I met any of those people. So developing that ability to kind of be like, okay, here we are. Because now that I remember, but I'm sure we've flown together for a while. So we've known each other for a while. And here we are, new people that this is my first time meeting you. So yes, always good to have that rehearsal time because normally on set, I mean, we don't get that kind of rehearsal. Like, different days and sets. You just don't get that. So that was nice. I mean, and plus it just allowed you to spend more time on set and it was fun. And I mean, it was like obviously a lot closer than it is now. So it was no big deal to kind of swoop over there and go to rehearsal, get it done and, go home. No
That
biggie,
was
but I loved it.
that was pretty nice to, it's only 4 hours away as opposed to now like eight hours.
Yeah.
It was nice to just kind of go down and be closer. So going to SoonerCon, because I think I did one of those with Michael, and I think I went down for another time. What was your guys' experience like doing that from the whole, usually when people say, oh yeah, I went to SoonerCon, or oh, I went to this convention, usually it's from the side of a fan perspective. But you being
Mhm.
up on stage, what was that experience like?
That was fun because I've never been to a convention. So that was on top of that, it was like my first time doing this kind of stuff. So, and then I got to be in uniform, and then we had part of the set there, like the captain's chair, and then what is those two helmsmen? That's those two spots.
Helmet
The
navigation,
navigator.
right?
Yeah, those people were there. I mean, those two spots so people can come sit. And so since we're already in uniform, some people would have their own uniforms that were coming in to see it and sit, and they would have us be like, here, could you sit here so we could take pictures and do this? Or they were just excited to see us because it was just like, oh yeah, we do this program and we talk about this program. And it was just, I didn't want it to end. I just loved every moment of it because it was just so much fun. Because it was just we all had the same we enjoy Star Trek, and you get to sit in the captain's chair or be in uniform. It's just kind of just it's a lot of fun.
Well, it takes you back to the early days when everything was kind of new and everything's fresh, and and it gives you that hope again. When you're sharing your love and passion of stuff. We have today, the internet trolls where they're like, I hate this, I don't like this, this sucks, and it's like when you're at a convention and you're sharing your love of passion of something, all the negativity kind of falls away. And that's why I think like Facebook, it's nice to a point, but it kind of sucks because it's like, everything's so negative. But when you're at a convention, there's really no negativity there. It's like if you love Discovery, great. If you love classic Star Trek, great. If you love Next Gen, great. If it's not your cup of tea, that's okay. But like now everything on the internet is like, fuck Discovery. TOS sucks. Where it's like, if you don't like it, you don't have to. That's the one thing that I love about going to conventions is, you see little kids and they dress in Star Trek outfit, and you're like, oh, that's so adorable. You see stuff like that where it gives you the feel goods. The future's going to be okay. It's there's a lot of garbage out there, but damn it, we're going to be all right. Where it's hard to see that sometimes. It's really good to see the fans, especially when they're engaged with you and they're like, well, what is this about? And you're like, well, let me tell you. It's easy to see stuff on Facebook where it's kind of spammed. Here's this video or here's this thing, and it's hard to get noticed. But when you're talking to fans and actually engaging with them and showing them what you've done, it interests them because there's a hunger there that it's not always satisfied with what's on TV. But so going on to, let's see here, where is, scroll through these pictures here. Okay, so going on to, speaking of positivity, we're going to go to the USS Valor. To anyone that knows, here's a ship that just gets the shit kicked out of it. And we're going to go to your other captain here. See, and that face says Miss Positivity right there.
I know.
We got perfect timing, Krystal.
I know. Oh yeah.
So I loved this. I love the chair, by the way. To me, it always
Yeah.
screamed like the Munsters, you know, you know, that type of chair. I love
Uh-huh.
the fact that like visually it was different. The back monitors are
Mm-hmm.
different. The chair is different. It's just enough difference from an original series set. You know, the lighting's slightly off. I mean, it looks visually different, and I love
Mm-hmm.
it. Um, there you are, right there. You're like, man, bring it, and I love it because these aliens, um,
Ugh.
that right there, the makeup job that Nate Bright did
Yeah.
with,
Amazing.
oh God, I mean, just
Absolutely
it,
freaking amazing.
oh, I mean, it looked great on camera, but it looked it looked so great up close.
It did. It did.
Um, and I remember standing, you know, watching you do this, you know, this whole scene with her, and you know, I have to say, you know, you and I had a conversation about,
Mm.
you know, this, you know, and I won't go into it, but I have to say, I was so happy to get to watch you perform this. I was so proud to be part of this whole film and to watch you do this, because I mean that was where I was like, man, this girl is a phenomenal actress. I fucking love this girl's acting. You know,
Mm-hmm.
she's got the talent, she's got the beauty, she's got the intelligence. She knows how to get into the psychology of a character. I mean, she's got it. You know,
Mm.
you know, she's,
Thank
you know, and I mean, right there, um,
Oh
you,
God, that brings oh, because I'm
uh,
just I mean, because I really felt it. I so felt it. So looking at that picture just brings me back to that, and it's just yeah, it wasn't
yeah,
positive.
no, and the thing is, like the attack that the aliens had as they were, you know, beaming in, like it is one of my favorite moments of a fan film. Just that whole opening scene.
Hmm.
Um, you know, because it you know so little about the crew, but you know all you need to know, and it perfectly sets up. I hope Michael does do ties that, you know, continues that. I
Hmm.
hope so. If that means we have to go to Wolf's to shoot the stuff, if we have to go down to Georgia to shoot the stuff, like I don't care. Like sign me up. I want to
Hmm.
continue that. Like I'm I'm ending my film stuff. Um,
Hmm.
because it's like after, you know, almost 9 years of doing it, it's like I'm kind of tired.
Oh.
But I am, sign me up. You know,
Hmm.
I want to continue that story, just because of, you know, the story itself seemed good. Your acting, you know, fuck man, I want to be part of that.
Hmm.
What was it like? Um, First off, what was it like being on set shooting that, from your perspective?
Um, I'm trying to think. I was nervous. I know I was nervous coming in just because it's an intense role. Um, but I mean, small group of people there. I mean, you know what I mean? Like it felt like a small group of people because I think we knew each other pretty well at
Right.
this point. So, you know, it's comfortable on set, it's fine. But then just coming in and starting it, I mean, I just was completely in the moment of that. I mean, I've said this before. You couldn't tell me that I wasn't in space with my crew and we're getting attacked by these aliens.
Yeah.
You couldn't tell me anything different. And that's why I said, looking at that picture, I was just like, oh, it's
Yeah.
just, it was intense. But I mean, at the end of the day, when we were done, when I was done, at least I had wrapped for the day and I was exhausted. And there was a picture of me and Jesse, and you could see it on my eyes. I mean, I'm just exhausted, but I am so happy. Like I slept so well that night. It was, cause I think I had to come back the next day to shoot some more. I can't remember. We shot because I think it was just a 2 day thing.
Yeah.
Um, but it was a long day of shooting that, and it was just, I mean, it was so much fun. I had so much fun, but I was so in the moment, just so in character, just tired, and tired at the end of the day. But that's because I just left it all. I left it all there. Like I just wanted to nail this so
Yeah.
badly.
You were definitely like the, you know, when I had first when I first started acting for Michael, um, I was pacing back and forth outside sick bay, and then when they called action, I then walked in, and I kind of get in Michael's face, and
Mhm.
I'm like, look, this is where we're fucking at ship wise, like shit's hitting the fan, we get the fuck out of here. Of course, those aren't the lines. Michael's a very, I'm paraphrasing, guys.
Yes.
That's not the Star Trek we have. Um,
Uh-huh.
but I'm pacing back and forth outside because I'm like, look, Menard is his anxiety's up. He's panicked. He's anxious. He's frantic. So I've got to be, and I didn't know the difference between acting and I've got to be this way.
Mhm.
And I didn't know that that was method acting. I didn't know that that's and later on people said no, that's what that is. Like you were being that character. There was no Vance. There was just Eric Menard. And when I was watching you on set as that captain, um, that's exactly what you were doing. Your science officer was getting killed in front of, like, you were traumatized, like literally, like you were allowing yourself to be traumatized for that character.
Mhm.
You were heartbroken and angry and frustrated because you just saw those uh escape pods destroyed that you sent off, like all
Yeah.
those range of emotions. A lot of people, especially in fan films, get knocked for, well, this is terrible acting, but you
Yeah.
did do that. You put yourself in that character's head, and that is extremely exhausting. uh,
Mhm.
but you can tell in that performance, and that's why, to see that firsthand, it was such a beautiful thing, because that you're getting the absolute best out of that performance and that actress and everybody else. uh, it's such a great moment in fan film history, because you sympathize with that character and you want to know
Mhm.
more of the
I
story.
just, oh, yeah. I want to know what happens to me.
Yeah, no, I mean, and your performance with is it Megan, I think her name was? No, Elizabeth. Elizabeth.
Aaron. You
Erin.
talking about, yeah, Aaron?
Yeah, yeah. Um, she's such a cold-hearted jerk in that,
Oh,
but in real life, oh man, she's dancing around, and
yeah.
she's such a friendly, you know and I love the fact, it's like she's not that, but in this like, she, oh man. And I tell you, in the first film that Michael did, when we're being attacked by the Sukalon,
Mhm.
it's such a throwaway race. We don't know anything about them. It's not, but this right here, it makes you go, I need to know more about this. I want to know more. What is this, cult type, you know, race, what are they doing?
Mhm.
I need to know more. And especially the fact that we see it through your eyes. We're feeling what you're feeling. We're feeling
Yeah.
the loss, the helplessness. Uh, and then this cold-hearted jerk comes on and is like, your rules, human, not mine. And you're just like, what? Because I mean, it's one of those things in Star Trek, and just in general, when you're like, send out the escape pods, and you're like,
Mhm.
why don't they destroy the escape pods? And
Yeah.
then here's someone who actually does it, and you're like, oh, and it's such a great moment.
Yeah, I think
Uh,
you see a part of me, like she walks by. There's in the film, she walks by and I'm on the ground injured, and I look at her and I give her just this look. I mean, I can't do anything really about it,
yeah,
but I just give her this look of just like, I completely can't stand you. I just want to
yeah,
beat the crap out of you. And like, why is it that in the script? Because I could take you, you know. I just was like, oh. So she really did a great job in that, and it just was. I mean, it's
yeah. You are.
frustrating.
Yeah, it's such a beautiful, like, because you are nothing to, like, none of you, like, none of the humans are anything, and
Mhm.
it's such a great, yeah. I really hope we get to go back and see what we have. What was it like watching? Because of course, we see the aliens running on, which, again, like, most people don't know, like Nate's, like, that there was no prosthetics on their face. That was just wonderfully, blurred
Mhm.
makeup. Like a line drawn here, a line drawn here, and then the rest was, it, it, you know, trickery of light for
Yeah.
and bland makeup. It wasn't bumpy, ridged like she was. She was the only one that was full prosthetic. So that was wonderfully done by Nate. But what was it like seeing them actually beam in, shoot the phasers, kill that one red shirt that stayed behind? I got you, Captain. And then, oh no, you don't. What was it like seeing everything in full, like, having gone through the day of the emotional turmoil, and then having gone through the day of, seeing it full effect, the CGI, the beam in, and then seeing what your character actually goes through, seeing the scene from the audience perspective.
Uh, okay, so it was. Now I can say it was amazing. I'm trying to remember the first time I watched it. So you're talking about like the first time I watched it, what it was like seeing them kind of beam
Yeah.
on and
Yeah, what was
attack
it like?
us.
Yeah, from the audience perspective. Yeah, from an audience perspective, what was it like seeing just the everything lights and shining? What was it like?
It was like an amazing and intense look at this, because obviously it's a whole different thing shooting it when you're on set and you're shooting this. Because obviously people are out there watching it, and there's fans or something going, so it's, it's not real. But when you're sitting there and it's like, okay, this just this is just coming together nicely. That's what I was sitting there thinking. This is nice. Oh my god. Oh, this is amazing. Look at that. Oh my god. He did a really good job of those skate pods. There it is. Blowing up, and the editing of me watching that moment, because I was like, are you kidding? Wow. And so it was just nice, and I watched it with my sister, I think, too, at the time, and so she was like, at the end of it, she was like, okay, what's are we gonna get to see more? And I'm like, no, that's it right now. And I was like, I want to see more. So no, it was, I loved it. I loved watching it, and sometimes I'll just go back, just reminiscing, I'll go back and watch it again, just because I'm like, you miss it, love it, because it's been some years ago, and it's
Yeah,
just it's just, I love the way it was done. And
it's great. It's great memory lane. It
mhm.
really is. It holds up. It really does. So William Wells says, "Hey
Hey.
guys, hey Krystal." Ian says the ties that bind deserves a follow up, and you are absolutely right. And in fact, I think Michael is working on,
Mhm.
based on when Craig was on. I think Michael said that it, there is something in the works, and that's
Mhm.
all we really can say at the moment. So, um, fingers crossed, guys. Go blow up Michael's inbox and let him know that you love Ties the Band. Go leave some comments on the video and let him know, because go bug him. That's what I
Yes,
do.
please do. Please do.
Yes, go bug him. Uh, Williams says, I think she deserves an Oscar award. Well, you're not
Oh,
the only one. You're not the only one, Bill.
thank you so much.
And Bill says he loves her mirror personality. I
Oh, thank you.
I agree. So let's discuss that for a little bit before we delve into the zombie stuff. So this was a little different. You play a character named Yara, and this was for Project Defiant.
Mhm.
Um, the only the we were doing rewrites on set, which was outside, because we had people who canceled at the last moment. So I'm sitting there going, and I was still kind of finding my footing as a director and writer and everything. I was still kind of finding my footing. Now it's kind of old hat, because I'm used to, so and so didn't show up. It's all right. It's no
Yeah.
big deal. Plus now I have someone, I'm like, hey, read everyone their lines. All right, let's go, guys. So I don't even memorize my shit. I'm like, nope, I'm not doing it. I don't even try. I know enough to fake it. But the only thing I really remember about that was I had this long sword, and I'm like, all right, you're on the ground, and I'm like, and I'm like, don't cut her head, don't cut her head. Oh man. And like every time I'm like, okay, if I go super slow, it's gonna look fake. If I go too fast, I'm looking for blood. Okay, because I've seen too many movies where it's like, you cut, and then they're standing there looking, and then you see driplets of blood just go down. I'm like, don't kill Krystal. Don't kill Krystal.
Oh crap.
So was that your experience too? Like, don't kill me, fat man. Don't kill me, fat man. Like,
Actually, I wasn't nervous at all about it. I didn't think I was just in the moment of ready to fight with you. So I was fine. I didn't know you were feeling that way.
oh
So
man,
I'm kind of like,
I didn't say anything.
I guess next time when we do something together, it's kind of like, okay, watch
Like,
this guy.
Where's this insurance at? Did you pay those premiums?
Right? So no, it's fine.
See, that's why for breakfast I was like, here's an extra piece of bacon for you. There's some more eggs. It's, I was buttering you up in case this might be your last meal.
Oh, well, I'm glad it didn't work out that way.
Right,
Oh
right.
God, yes.
So what was it like? What was it like playing more of an evil version of yourself?
That's fine. I mean, because I
Yeah.
would like to think people think I'm not mean at all or evil. So playing something that's completely different, it's like fun. I mean, it was kind of, it says a little bit hard just trying to get it there and trying to make sure it wasn't just all one dimensional, two dimensional. I mean, just I wanted her to feel real and be real. So it's just not she's going to be mean the whole time. I also wanted her maybe to have some moments of and a little bit of empathy in there or something like that. I wanted that. Whether that came across or not, I'm not sure. But I think it was fun nonetheless to play. I would love to do that again.
Well, minus the sword slash it, huh?
Exactly.
I think one thing that the mirror universe has is a lot of times they come across as kind of one dimensional. Like
Mm-hmm.
it's hard. It's hard to write mirror universe episodes as anything more than like one dimensional because you have so much betrayal. So who are these characters really? Are they,
Mm-hmm.
It's hard to let your guard down because like,
Yeah.
do I trust you really? Do I care about you really? Like, what is my ultimate end goal? And that was why when I wrote that episode in particular, I, at the end of the day, it was really like, okay, let's kill Scott. Like when he's like, your power's coming to an end. Oh,
Yes.
okay. All right, and we all come together at the end. It was all just a ploy to find out like who's betraying who. Because I think at the end of the day, like that's kind of what the mirror universe is like it's all just one big power grab.
Yeah.
We're all kind of like one barely one step up of one-dimensional characters because like none of us really trust each other and we'd all kind of betray each other if we lost a little bit of power and that's so sad because like we're not like that in real life, but it is fun to play kind of a douchebag because we did that in real life, we'd probably get punched in the mouth. Oh, you son of a bitch, what are you doing?
I know, exactly.
But I do think one of your standouts for that is, when you're standing next to Martin and Yava's on the ground. And like the only difference between her and the Emily character is like, put on my jacket, no one will ever notice. Like at that point, like I was so burnt out of doing rewrites and people calling in, I was like, screw it, nobody will know the difference. Just put the jacket on, I don't care. That's how much thought I put into it. But you were like, killer. It's you kind of called Martin like a he's kind of being he's being like a pervert or whatever, and you're like, you sweaty pig or some shit like that.
There it is. And then when I almost hit, like there's that blooper of me, like when the phaser breaks when I'm swinging it, and you remember it?
Yeah.
And it just narrowly misses her, and I'm just like,
oh shit. I love those breaking character moments. I love those.
Yeah, did you see how I just stayed still for a moment because I stayed in character? Like I was like, I don't know how we can fix this one, but let's just. And then y'all started laughing, and then it's like, okay, I'm cool, I can laugh.
Right.
But I'm so glad it didn't actually hit her. Like it just like whatever.
See, and
So,
that raises the question: if it would have hit her, would we have used that in the take? Like,
right. So that's
like
why I kind of stayed still. I mean, it was kind of that moment, like I didn't expect that all to break apart. Like, and I was like, this could have really hit her, like in the face.
and see, that's why this film is like, man, I'm worried about cutting your neck off. You're worried about hitting fucking Yava. Like this film
Yes. I
really
mean, it
is
was just,
dangerous.
it was like, oh my God, I could have really, because I really, I mean, put force into swinging that. Because
Hmm.
I knew I wasn't going to actually hit her, so I could put complete force into swinging it. So when it kind of just broke apart, I was like,
Oh
oh
man!
my God.
And again,
So,
this is the guy that has no insurance. Like this,
yeah, and it was point blank. It was point blank range, that it would have hit her.
I'm lucky my actors love me. That's all I can
Uh-huh.
say.
Exactly.
So full suffering says the great Krystal, uh,
Thank you.
and William Wells says we need her on Constar as a guest. I'm
Yeah.
always down to have Krystal as a guest whenever she if she ever is available.
Mhm.
I personally I want to go down, and this is just me. I want to go down to Oklahoma because I fucking miss Michael.
Mhm.
And if I ever get the chance to go down to Oklahoma, I want to fucking shoot something with Krystal, even if it's 10 minutes of something silly or stupid, or hey, I got a Star Trek uniform, pop this on, let's do something. Like that's my personal goal. Even if I've walked away from fan films, you guys know I'm never done for 100% good. I want to do something silly. So it's one of those never say never guys.
Mhm.
um Especially at this age that we've known each other. We've been friends for so long. Never say never, guys. So so last but not least, let's see here. We have, and this is going to bring back, at least for me, it brings back memories. This
Oh God, yes.
Yes, this picture, I loved this because you took this. We were actually filming the Lexington Adventures, the very first film for Lexington Adventures, but we took this picture of you and Royce.
Uh-huh.
And I mean, Royce is, I think, 4 months old in this picture. And we took it for the film The Corner of Longview because I
Mhm.
really thought this will tie that film perfectly together. Because you have, well, you actually play, and
Mhm.
here's, I couldn't quite get a perfect still, but this is, you play the girlfriend or slash wife.
Uh-huh.
It's never really quite explained, but to me, those are you don't really need to know. All that matters is
Yeah.
we're together in the film. Menard, well, not Menard, fuck man, Menard. My character,
Is a jerk.
dude, my character is a douchebag. Uh, he before that scene, he takes care of the baby. It's a sweet, it sets up, oh, this guy's loving the kid. Then,
Mhm.
you guys have their little cuddle moment. And you're like, I always look out for my man, and I
Uh-huh.
was like, oh, which, everyone's like, dude, hottie. I'm like, oh, yeah. And then my fat ass hauls ass as you're like, no, no. And, you got Royce crying in the background, and the zombies are like, arr, 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 like munching away, and you're like, no, no. I gotta
Yeah.
say, you did 6 takes of that line. And I
Mhm.
waited to listen to them because, of course, I'm in an office at work. I can't listen to, a lady screaming, no,
Uh-huh.
no. I can't listen to that in my office. So I was like, I'll wait till I get to my car and I listened to all 6 on my way home. And I got to say, after I did, I picked which one I was going to use. And then I sent it to my Google Drive. And then I was like, okay, I'm done for films for a bit. I need to take a break.
Mhm.
Because every one of your blood curdling screams emotionally struck me. Because all I could think about was the scene that I shot with Royce. And then the scene, like, as the character of
Mhm.
you guys. And I was like, it broke my fucking heart. Because I was like, you sold that character.
Thank
And
you.
for and that to me is, I was like, if it does that to me, like that's why this guy in the entire film is broken. That's he's trying to justify, well, that they shouldn't have brought a baby into this world. Like, who does that? And the whole film he's trying to justify, and then by the end of the film, when he breaks down, he lets go, like he's and he pulls out that picture, and that pulling out that picture of you and Royce, a happy picture, and it's a picture I fucking love. I love that picture. I think it's a cool
Hmm.
picture, but to me, it's like it all goes back to that scream, and it to me, it's such a small part, but it breaks my heart every time. Because when I recorded Royce crying, like it was outside. He was, of course, dirty diaper. I was like, oh, I'll just put this here on, and it's such a small, uh, but it is actually Royce's,
Hmm.
voice, and because I always believe in authentic. But to me, it's such a heartbreaking piece, and you are so talented on the delivery, and you are the reason that character is broken. Like this whole thing. I mean, you sell that film.
Thank
Um,
you.
Bless your heart. I mean, it's a tragedy of a film. It was always intended to be. But I don't think a lot of people could have sold that the way you did. What was that? What was it like breaking my heart?
Well, I remember what it was like. Well, you were jerk, so I'm like, whatever. um,
Right.
but I remember doing those screams. And at the time, I mean, I lived kind of like in a duplex too, but I'm just like, I don't care. Um, I was like, I'm gonna deliver this, and doing those. Again, I mean, they drained the crap out of me. It was so it broke me. Like I just was just because I allowed myself to go there and to deliver that, and it was hard. It was hard. It wasn't hard to do those. It was just mentally tough on me to do those, to deliver that, because it was just so heartbreaking to me. Like it was just like I knew why we were doing this, and it was just it hurt. And so when I would take back and listen to this take, and I'm just like, because I know me, and I could hear it. I could hear the heartbreaking in that, and the
Yeah,
betrayal feeling, and just like
yeah,
it was so much. It was so heavy that it was just like, but I loved it. Again, love it, love it, love it.
yeah. No, it like I almost like listening, and as I saw the film, and I was doing the stuff, I was like, man, I felt like the worst dad in the world. Like, and that's like anyone that knows me knows, I have I think I have a great relationship with my kid. Like, I love playing video games with him. Like, I mean, fuck, man, we wore capes yesterday. And we went to Topeka, and it was so great because people were like, oh, the superheroes, and Royce is like, yeah, I mean, I fucking love my kid.
Yeah.
But like, I mean, it's one of those things. Like, I love when Royce wants to be in a film. Like the other day, he was an alien for the first time. He put on the alien mask, and he was like, "Thank you," to the other guy in the film. But like, he loves film. Like about a year ago, I was putting blood on me, and I make my own blood. I use chocolate syrup and red food coloring because I'm too
Mhm.
cheap to go buy blood, but I make it myself. And he walked into the bathroom and he saw me putting it on. He was like, Dad, no, you're bleeding. I was like, no, no, son, it's just chocolate. And I was like, see? And I dipped my finger in it. See?
Yeah.
Chocolate. And I gave him, and he was like, chocolate. So he started eating it, like, and he ate like half my blood. I'm like, well, thanks, Royce. So he actually held the flashlight up while I was in my ready room,
Uh-huh.
destroyed. The thing was destroyed. And then when he saw the final film, and he saw the bloody meat, he was like, chocolate, you know. Um, but like I love putting him in films.
Mhm.
But I really I think that was probably the only time where I was like, oh man, I don't know if I can do this. But I think the film for the zombie uh for the zombie genre, like I think it really stands. Because before then the only one I had done was the kind of Blair Witch type, where it's just me sitting in front of a
Mm.
camera, and that gets very boring. But
Mhm.
you really help sell the sense of loss and the sense of there is no redemption for my character.
Mm.
That's why he loses his mind.
Yeah.
And like I said, I don't know many people that could have done that. So, as the person who made the film, thank you, because you really are talented. You went from a child's education to captain who lost her crew to uh, person in the mirror universe. Almost hitting Java. To zombie. I mean, you really go through the whole range of emotions for your craft. And when I say that you are one of the most talented actresses out there, William is right. You do deserve an Oscar.
Mm,
You are
thank
fucking
you.
talented. You know.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that. And I appreciate the opportunities you've given me. So thank you so much.
Well, I hope there's more. I know you've recorded one piece of footage, and it's funny. Some projects they go, they just boom, boom, boom. Other projects, it's like, why does nobody else ever send me their fucking footage? Like, I don't, because you shot something else that
Mm-hmm.
should have been done, like, I think 3 years ago. And so I have not forgotten,
I
it's
know.
just,
I want to see that one.
and dude,
Because
trust me, like it's supposed to be a sequel to my superhero film called Pursuit.
uh-huh.
And I'm still wait like I I would want to do a Ghostbuster film, a Batman film. Sadly, I think I'm gonna have to go down different avenues to make those complete, even if it's not the original vision. But no, trust me, I'd love to work with you again. Uh, in different capacities, just because I think you're so talented. So
And I
if
would love
you,
to do this stuff like this, where I record myself, kind of like what we were talking about. That scene that's been shot. Ah! I want to shake my earpiece out. But yeah, because I was that excited. Um, yeah, I want to do something like that again, where I could just record it even here. Like you just say, "Hey, do this," and I'm like, "Oh, okay,"
well, see,
and
and
I do
that's
that.
well, see, and that's the thing. Like that's where I feel like that's one reason why, like, even though I plan to give up like my films, because it's like after 100 and some odd films, it's like, look, I'm kind of done.
Yeah.
But cameos, I think I could probably do those all day long, because it's like I've got the sets, takes 2 seconds, shoot from home.
Mm-hmm.
Um, like if I'd love to work with you, because I do think you're so talented. So if you're up for doing more of, I may write more lines and say, hey, let let me give you a bigger role for what we were doing, so that we can actually put a film out. Because I may, in fact, I will probably just recast for my superhero film, because and give you a bigger part, because it's just I hate sitting on footage. That's one reason why with some of these other films that never got finished, it's like, well, then give it to me. I'll go put it out there. I'll do
Mm-hmm.
something with it. So if you're game, I'd love to work with you.
As
So,
long as it's something I can easily shoot in here.
well, good deal, good deal. Well, then it looks like we'll be doing something. So
Yeah, it'll be.
expect something in your inbox. So
Oh, okay, cool.
it's a good
Yay.
deal. So, all right. Well, we've hit our hour mark. I know you've got something to do. Ian says, great idea, Vance. Well, Ian, bless your heart. You keep watching. We'll keep making. That's my promise. So, all right, but I know you've got something to do at 2:30, and we're hit the just over the 2 o'clock mark. So I will let you go. But Krystal, I want to say thank you for coming on. And is there any upcoming projects you have, or any way that we can uh, uh, contact you in case we need to, in case we have something for you, or just be apprised of what you're doing?
Yeah, I guess my Instagram. I'm horrible about staying on my social media. I need to
Right.
be better, but I will let months go by and I'll deactivate an account in a heartbeat and just whatever. But if yeah, Instagrams, my handle on that is Sweet Miss Chris, Krys. Um, he'll hold you to that, man. um, and I think I'm on YouTube. It's Krystal Willis, not
Okay.
YouTube. I
I'll
am
tell
on
you what.
YouTube, but yeah,
I'll,
you can
I'll,
put it on there, right?
I'll tell you what. Send me both those links, and I'll put
Okay.
that in the description. So then everybody in the chat, give me about 5-10 minutes, and I'll put that in the description. And everyone watching on the rewind, just click in the description, and we'll have that to
Hmm.
you. And click on over, subscribe to her, and follow her there. Because
I got other
realistically,
stuff. I got other stuff I want to do, and I am going to be doing soon. Well, like a model photo shoot on Saturday or Sunday. So I'm excited.
Right on, right on. So yeah, follow her. Because realistically, the only way a lot of a lot of us artists get these stuff going is if we have followers and people that support us.
Hmm.
So go over,
And I
follow her.
appreciate
So
the support. I really do.
awesome. All right. Well, with that being said, Krystal, once again, thank you. Everybody in the chat, thank you. So with that being said, everyone, be genuine, be safe, and keep on geeking on, guys.
Thanks.